Hello, I'm Sabrina Reese and you're watching Weathering the World. Today I have a very special guest. I'm introducing Ivory Small. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm glad I could be here.
So Ivory is a scientist, and not only any scientist, he works for the
National Weather Service, San Diego.
And I am so excited that he's here. I have lots of questions for him, but one is I'm going to ask him, what are the Santa Ana winds? This is a term we hear a lot, meteorologists kind of throw around, but what exactly are the Santa Ana winds?
Well, Santa Ana winds, they originate kind of up toward the plateau area, which is between the mountains of the Sierras and the Rocky Mountains. And that air is up at around 4,000 feet. And when it cools off up there, we get air that actually drains down to sea level down where we are. And as it drains down, it warms up considerably and speeds up considerably. So by the time it gets here, it's totally changed to something that's hot and dry.
So tell us about, I know you knew somebody prior to you were telling me, what was his name?
Oh, his name was Dr. Rob Favell.
And he was you said the Santa Ana King.
He is a guy that's done more research here in Southern California on Santa Ana winds than just about anyone.
And now he's pretty much passed the crown down to you.
He's now a professor back on the East Coast, so that kind of makes me the guy that has done about as much or more than anyone else around here as far as Santa Ana wind research.
This is incredible. So in your research, what have you found? Any trends, any things? Can the Santa Ana winds do any damage, or what exactly can you share with us?
Well, one of the things that I've noticed is that the Santa Ana winds actually come in all shapes and sizes depending on who you are. Some are saying it's only dry or only hot, and some say that it can be a little bit cooler than that, and some call them wet Santa Anas, which is when it rains and the wind also is damaging and strong. But the more accepted definition of Santa Ana winds is when they're the warm, dry, beach-going Santa Ana winds. And as far as the Santa Ana wind types, there are two kinds, basically. One of them is more of the nicer Santa Ana winds, where it's just kind of flowing out of the plateau onto Southern California, and it warms up, but it's not breaking a lot of stuff. The bad ones are when you have the strong jet stream winds that join that cold air. Things get broken, and sometimes you can get a fire pushed by these kinds of winds.
That's what I was gonna say, because during fire season, you kind of some people blame it on the Santa Ana winds for maybe increasing it. Is that something you see as well?
The Santa Ana winds, they can actually allow embers to be picked up and pushed over the heads of the firefighters downstream. So it's almost impossible to fight a Santa Ana wind when there's a fire that's going.
That is so interesting. So that's the breakdown, because you don't really hear that, from anybody else. You really broke down Santa Ana winds for us, and thank you so much for doing that. And if you have more questions, please comment below. Ivory will have the answer, and I will be happy to ask it.